Hello everyone, welcome to Ooni Crafts. My name is Marine and today I want to talk to you a little bit about sewing, or rather the idea of sewing and how it can feel a bit scary to pretty much most of us who have never sewn before or who have never used a sewing machine before. When I was growing up, my mom used to have a sewing machine, but it was this big heavy old thing. It looked boring and I never learned how to use it. But as I grew older, living away with my own kids, I realized that sometimes I want to make things for them that are not available in store or online, or even if it is available, it's really expensive. And I wanted to try make some things for them at home. I'm not talking about clothes or complicated things, little things like maybe a little plushie out of felt, or sewing a little badge for them or something with their name on it. And for that I realized that hand sewing just doesn't cut it. And so I invested in a little sewing machine. But now I realized that even regular little sewing machines can feel or look rather scary. So just about 10 days ago, I went ahead and I bought this little mini sewing machine. And over the past few days, I've been learning how to use this. So today I'm not even going to talk about what this sewing machine is or what it can do. I just want to talk to you about what place a sewing machine can have in your life compared to, say, using a needle and a thread and sewing by hand. So if you look at this, in my hand I've got a needle, I've got some black thread on it, okay, and I've got a little piece of fabric. It's actually felt fabric, and I just want to show you what you can do, what sewing you can do by hand, and then how much better life can be by doing the same thing using a sewing machine, even if it is as small and as tiny as this one. So typically when you are sewing something, let's say I want to sew a straight line here, I'm going to poke my thread out from the bottom up to the top. Then I'm going to go backwards into my fabric, go under, and then back up again. Okay, I'm not going to bore you with long stitches. And this is going to be my first stitch, okay? This is a first stitch because on the back now, if you see, there is another stitch. So it's a full thread sandwich, which makes up a full stitch. And again, for the next stitch, again, you have to backtrack and then cup up again, making that loopy thread sandwich, okay? It's not very good, but you can see it there, okay? Now this takes time, and when it takes time, it can get boring, and you can feel like, oh, I'm never going to get to the end of it, even if it's tiny things, like maybe you want to sew your child's name on a bag or their t-shirt, okay? It's hard doing it with a needle and a thread. Now, the same function can be performed within seconds using a little sewing machine, okay? And this is why in a number of situations you will realize that if you had a little sewing machine at home, you would be able to do so many things that you could never do or were never inclined to do because it's so boring and so taxing. I'm not going to go into all the different parts of a sewing machine here, but I just want to tell you about the concept of the thread sandwich that I just showed you, which makes up a stitch. So the stitch is running not just on the top of the fabric, but on the bottom of the fabric as well. Now, how does a mini sewing machine do that? It actually is supposed to have a thread right on top, right there. So when I pull this up, you can actually put a thread right there. Okay, hope you can see it. So it's right there, okay? And then underneath as well, there is a portion right there. And inside it, you can put your bottom thread. I hope you can see, okay? And this little device underneath, that's called a bobbin, and this houses the thread that creates the stitches at the bottom of the fabric, and the top spindle creates the stitches at the top of the fabric. And when you sew, both the threads come together, intertwining, and within seconds you've got perfect stitches compared to what you can do by hand, which is imperfect and time consuming. So I hope this has inspired you to just look into the idea of what sewing at home can do for you. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye.